Hello everyone, and I hope you're all keeping safe and healthy at home. As we enter our 4th month of working remotely, I'd like to welcome you to this CCED update. Now, as usual, I have a number of topics to cover, including our performance year to date, the outlook for the rest of this year, and my thoughts on a return to the office. But before that, I'd like to thank you all for your part in achieving the very significant milestone of 100 million barrels of oil from blocks 3 and 4. And if I may, I'd like to share with you a note that we received from His Excellency, the Minister of Oil and Gas. Congratulations! A few years ago, no one would have believed that one day blocks 3 and 4 will celebrate the production milestone of 100 million barrels. Thanks to all the CCED family that made this possible. A great achievement, with the prospect of another 100 million barrels more than real. Well done. There really isn't anything more I can add. It's unfortunate that the current situation means we can't celebrate this in the fashion it deserves. But please, all of you, pat yourselves on the back and take pride in this magnificent achievement. Now, to our performance. I'm extremely pleased at the way the organisation has adapted to remote working and the shift from production optimisation to cost optimisation. We're settling into our new normal, and although it's a bit challenging at times, I believe there are some real positives in changing our working routines coming from this as well. After the outstanding performance to the end of April, we've had some setbacks in our safety performance, with 2 LTIs in May. However, there's been a renewed focus in the field, and we'll need to continue this to avoid our performance slipping. As I discussed in the last update, the drop in oil price and the OPEC Plus restrictions mean we've had to make some difficult decisions in order to keep the business on a stable financial footing. We've stacked 2 drilling rigs and deferred all of our non-production related projects. This reduction in workload was the driver to rationalise the workforce through the release of a number of expatriate staff and contractors. I fully appreciate the challenge this has presented to individuals, and unfortunately a number of long-serving members of staff who were part of the 100 million barrel delivery have departed. I wish them good luck. With these difficult decisions behind us, we're now in a position where, provided we meet our revised cost projections, the business can weather very low oil prices for at least through to the end of 2021. With our production capped and oil price out of our control, the key lever we have to keep the business stable is cost. And that is why it is getting so much focus. I'm pleased to say that in the months of May and June, we did meet our cost targets. And this was key in keeping the business in line with our cash flow projections. So thank you to all of you for your part in that. However, I'm of the view we have a volatile few months ahead. So please don't take your eye off every dollar we spend. The OPEC Plus cuts will be reduced next month, increasing worldwide supply. And despite the trillions of dollars of stimulus governments are pumping into the world economy, demand recovery remains fragile. So, while the oil price is currently above $40, I believe a drop to below 30 again at the back end of this year is a very real possibility. As I mentioned in my last message, this double crisis is unprecedented. And while I believe the difficult decisions implemented over the last few months have put us in a strong position to weather the oil price challenge, it is COVID-19 that remains extremely challenging. There have now been 8 positive cases within CCED, and Oman has one of the highest infection rates in the world. Therefore, I'm not ready to relax the restrictions placed on travelling to the field, the implementation of quarantine and testing of all new arrivals, or the extended rotation cycle as yet. As I believe, these are what have allowed us to contain the infection so far. I greatly appreciate the field team's superb work in implementing and adhering to these controls. Currently, it takes 72 hours to get the test results, so we have purchased a COVID-19 testing machine for CCED to use in the field. And once that is operational at the beginning of September, I expect us to be able to reduce the amount of time people have to spend in quarantine. However, despite these controls, we're dependent on everyone following guidance and behaving in a responsible manner if we're to continue to keep the infection at bay. I know that at times the guidance feels inconvenient or unnecessary, but it's there to protect us all and it is not optional. Some individuals in the CCED team have put their families and colleagues at risk by not following the guidance. And I see this as not only thoughtless, but also selfish. None of us is too important or so special that we do not need to follow the guidance to protect our loved ones and our colleagues. We've been working from home now for 4 months, and I know many of you are keen to get back to the office. When I last spoke, we were hoping that the infection rate would be well down by now, but clearly that hasn't happened. And so we will continue to work remotely for the moment. We have a protocol for return to the office in place, and it lays out the prerequisites that must be in place before we return. They cover such things as national and local infection rates, the opening of a man's borders, and the resumption of commercial flights. Once these prerequisites are in place, we will consider a return to the office in a phased manner, with the senior leadership returning first and then other personnel as required. However, there will be strict safety precautions in place and the occupancy rate for the building will be reduced by around 50%, meaning we will continue to have, for at least some days every week, remote working as a key part of the new normal. As we approach Eid Al Adha, please observe the guidance so that you can enjoy the occasion without putting your loved ones at risk. So it just remains for me to wish you and your families Eid Mubarak. Please practice social distancing and stay safe. Thank you.